Hello, everyone. Thanks, Anandita, for organizing this and for all the efforts you're doing for the community. Hello, everyone, for joining on Thursday evening or Thursday morning, based on your time zone for the session. This is part of 4 session series, which I'm doing in the month of August to share all the XM Cloud learnings I have so far. So, in case you have missed the initial 2 sessions, the recordings are here. There's also a playlist which I shared on the social media, so you can also go to the playlist which has all the sessions, and all the future sessions will also be added to the playlist. So today's session is going to be personalization, analytics, and forms, and then the last session of the series will be the deployment using Versal Netlify, which is going to happen on next Friday, 30th of August. Just to quickly introduce myself, I have been working at Horizontal as a group technology director. I've been working with Horizontal for 11 years now, and working in the Sitecore industry for 13 to 14 years now. Um, I'm also a Sitecore technology MVP for 12 years, and as the first Sitecore MVP from India, I blog on sitecorebasics.wordpress.com, and I also been co-view MVP and CDP and XM Cloud certified developer. So now let's get into the topic. So the first topic in this whole session is going to be personalize, and we call it XM Cloud Pages Personalize, or if you hear someone saying embedded personalization with XM Cloud, all those things are same. It's just different naming people use. So XM Cloud, when you purchase the XM Cloud instance, it comes with the pages personalize or embedded personalization. Uh, you can do at this point of time, you can do paid level personalization, which means that if you want to personalize something, you need to have multiple variants of your pages with their own components. You can do component based personalization. That something is in the roadmap, but I don't know the timeline by when that will be launched. It basically works on the edge based personalization, which means that there is a personalized middleware plugin which has all the secret source into it. So in case you are troubleshooting something, and if you are going through the source code of XXS starter kit, which we discussed in the last session, you can look into this particular middleware code, which is basically a TS file, which has all the logic. For advanced approach, you need CDP and personalize, which needs a separate license. But this embedded personalization comes with your XM Cloud core license, so you don't need to pay extra for this one. And then behind the scenes, whenever you publish, what Sitecore does, it creates multiple variants, and those variants have multiple output, HTML output, which is stored in your Vercel, and then based on your personalization condition, one of the condition will be resolved, and then data will be served from there. So that's how it works. So basically, it is not doing everything on the fly. When you are publishing, it is computing those variants required, and then creating those at Vercel or Netlify level, at the edge level, and then it gets served based on the condition. Now, how to enable this personalization? The first and foremost thing is going to be a site identifier. It is a must have. Without that, I think personalization analytics won't work without that. So make sure that you have site identifier assigned. We'll see a live demo how to do that, but remember this topic. And the second thing is once you have that, what you do is you follow this whole life cycle. You create your page, and then you create a variant, which is basically your based on your condition. You create an audience. You XM Cloud Personalize comes with an out of the box rules, so you can use those to create your rules or condition or audience, and then you provide the condition. You edit a page variant, basically whatever visual changes you would like to do, you do that, and then your personalization is ready. We'll see the live demo. So in case it doesn't make sense right now, that's okay. We'll see the live demo. And this is how the whole thing works behind the scenes. Your visitor hits the Next.js app. When the request is going, it goes to the personalized middleware. which basically reaches out to Sitecore Experience Edge and Sitecore CDP's light version, I would call it, and then it returns the variants, and then the experience is returned to the user. So that's how it works overall from the sequence diagram point of view. Now let's talk about the limitations. What are the limitations? So it only collects the real-time data for 30 days for view events. You cannot have more than that. If you need more than that, that means you need to uh, have a personalized license. Then you can have more data. Um, it also only allows 8 variants per page, and each variant will only have maximum of 5 conditions per audience. So when you see the live demo, this will make more sense, but there are some, the high level information is, there are some limitations which you need to keep in mind. And we'll talk about that in the upcoming slide, when and how to plan to overcome those limitations and what is the right way to do it. We'll discuss about that in the upcoming slide. Automatic provisioning of CDP tenants and point of sale management is only possible if you create a new project in XM Cloud using Starter Kit. So if you use the XM Cloud Starter Kit, and if you don't know about that, refer the last 2 sessions we discussed about it, and especially the last session. But if you provision your XM Cloud instance using the Starter Kit, default Starter Kit, then you will have this whole CDP personalized, everything embedded and integrated. You don't need to do anything. But in case you would like to create your own starter kit for whatever reason, at least I have not seen any good reason while working on XM Cloud, but uh, you might have a scenario, then you need to figure out the mechanism for CDP tenant enablement and figure that out. And then we discussed that personalizing at the component level, partial designs or standard value level is not possible right now. And then if you need a full-fledged implementation, go with Sitecore CDP and personalize. So this is a nice matrix. Sitecore CDP and personalize, also known as, like they call it engagement SDK, which is also similar thing, just a different naming. So this matrix shows you the features which are available. So let's say data collection, XM Cloud does it, CDP does it, personalize also does it, and then the combination also does it. And this combination of XM Cloud personalize and then CDP XM. So it is available, but there are few things which are not available. So you have to refer this matrix and decide which features you are looking for in your solution based on the client requirements, and then plan which product fits in your role. But the good thing is, in the composable architecture, all these combinations can be leveraged without any challenges. Now, this is another slide, which is something I took it from the SUGCon session, SUGCon India session. Comparison between XM Cloud embedded personalization or pages personalized, both are same, versus Sitecore personalized, right? So the configuration point of view, this is kind of an add-on module, so it's available out of the box. This is a SaaS product, so you need to do some configuration. Nothing is connected, but you have to connect it and code it and configure it. The licensing is part of XM Cloud, no additional cost. This something needs an additional cost. The tenant, you cannot log into your tenant and look at the data, what is getting stored. Here you can get that access of the portal. Data and timeline durations, like 30 days only. And this is 180 days of retention period for visitor and guest type. And then the customer, which is basically identified users, there is no limitation. The channel, only web channels it can be used. This has omnichannel experience. The flexibility is you can use paid level personalization in out of the box conditions. And here it provides more flexibility where you can do a lot of things like component level personalization or decisioning mechanism, which can help you leverage a lot of enterprise use cases. The customization is not possible here. Here you can do whatever you want. And analytics provides real-time site and page analytics data. And then only for this also provides experience and experiment level. So now you ask me, like, what should be the strategy? I think the right strategy is when you start your new XM Cloud implementation, better in the phase 1, for the MVP launch. To show the value of personalization, use the embedded personalization, and then show the benefit of it. Once clients start seeing the benefit, and then they would like to do more, uh, start with the basic use cases, but they would like to do advanced use cases. That's where that you can engage in a discussion where you can leverage Sitecore Personalize. Now, let's talk about the XM Cloud Pages Analyze. So XM Cloud comes with an analyze feature where you can get the visitor insights. Basically, when you launch any campaign or when your web property is getting traffic or not, whether when you launched a particular campaign, whether it worked or not, what time of what time of the day your visitors are active or visiting the website. When you have all this data, you can make some decisions and then create a future campaigns which will help your end users and also help you to get more traction on your website. So again, the first thing, you have to configure site identifier, else it will not work. When you use XM Cloud Analyze for page analytics, so this works at site level, page level, and form level. So there are three different ways. We'll talk about it and we'll also see a demo. So XM Cloud Analyze for page analytics, data refreshes every minute. So when you look at the page insights, it can show your page level data and the data gets refreshed every 1 minute. Now, if you have enabled personalization where you have multiple variants, you can also see a data by variant as well. So you can see, like, let's say we created personalization campaign and you have two variants or two personalized version of your pages. Then you can see which one is getting traffic and which one is not getting traffic. The second thing is XM Cloud Analyze or analytics for site analytics. For the whole site level, uh, data refreshes every minute, and that is a site insights. We'll see the live demo. And then you can use form analytics for forms analysis. So when someone is coming on the form, are they uh, abandoning, are they kind of leaving the form in between, or they are completing the form, whether the form is complicated to fill, all those things you can get from the analytics. The data refreshes every 15 minutes, and then site and page analytics refresh every minute, and form analytics refresh every 15 minutes. Visits and events data are available for the last 30 days only. So again, same thing. If you want more, you can leverage CDP. But if you want to just start, use this, which has some limitation of 30 days data retention only. And then dashboards are built in, so you can look at the key metrics and make some decisions based on that. And then, as I mentioned, you can look at the data from site level, page level, forms level, and we'll see that in the live demo. But this is also by default out of the box available, so you're not paying anything. Now I'm going to the third topic, which is XM Cloud Forms. XM Cloud Forms has been launched before some time because when XM Cloud got launched, there was the biggest question from the partners and community and clients that what about forms? Because as you all know, forms is an essential part of your web channel or the digital channel, right? Because from that's where you get leads and then also provide some personalized experience based on what information clients are submitting, right? So this XM Cloud Forms is totally separate from what we used in the past in the XP days, the the XP forms, right? Which had the form builder and all those things. This has been built from scratch, so there is no kind of dependency on that. And when you migrate your client from XP to XM Cloud and they have forms, you need to plan an migration effort. At this point of time, based on my knowledge, it is manual only, so you have to plan that effort. But this is totally separate. I believe that behind the scenes, Sitecore team has leveraged all the Sitecores and product knowledge, and they have tried to get those things embedded into this XM Cloud Forms, and that's what you will see in the implementation as well. You can easily embed this on your page, so it gets an embedding code which you can uh, or you just can drag and drop on your XM Cloud pages. We'll see that live demo. And then it provides a webhook. Basically, all the data will be sent to a webhook, which is, if you are new to webhook term, basically it's an endpoint which is listening for the data. And once the data is there, then you can do a number of things. Uh, let's say if you have Sitecore Connect license, you can configure the webhook listener. And as soon as the data is there, you can connect to thousands of connectors Sitecore Connect provides and do whatever you want, right? Let's say if you want to get a lead and then send the data to Salesforce Marketing Cloud, you can do that. If you want to process that data and send an email, you can do that. Or if you want to save the data in a database, you can do that. But it is totally decoupled system. What Sitecore has done is they just provided a webhook, which will post all the data, and then you are good to go. So what are the steps to activate this form? So you create a form, design a form, you can style your forms, and then you activate a form, and your form is ready to be used. For the form to be used, you must need to be on JSS version greater than equal to 21.6.0 plus. So if you set up your new project, you will be on that. So you don't need to worry. But if it is old XM Cloud project, you need to upgrade your JSS version. And then form analytics is by default enabled. So you can analyze your form's performance based on that. And then this documentation has all the information, but we'll see live demo and I'll try to cover as much as possible. At the same time, I noticed that Sitecore Group Bangalore, couple of sessions has been done on XM Cloud Forms, and they have been very useful information. I think last session was there, and then I think there was also one more session by Shri Krishnan. So you should go through that. It will provide a lot of information. But my intent of this session is not to repeat all the good information already shared by community members. I'm just going to give you a kind of a starter, but you can leverage those sessions. They are super helpful for the forms. At the same time, there are some limitations with XM Cloud Forms as well. As I mentioned, I'm not going to discuss a lot of those things, but there are some limitations. But Sitecore also has a roadmap where they are going to take care of those implementations and limitations as part of the roadmap. Awesome. So the boring part is done. It's time for a demo. It's going to be demo for all the things we have discussed so far, and you can ask questions in between, or we also have time reserved in the end where we can go through the questions. So this is your XM Cloud instance. When you log in, this is the portal where all the XM Cloud or Sitecore products like CDP, Personalized, Connect, whatever you have access, it is available here. So I have this environment, and from here you can also go to XM Cloud Deploy, which is this one, where you can look at your environment, right? So here, this is my website. So I'm going to click on settings. My session must have expired, so I'll just refresh the screen. Okay, so when you from here, right, you can open app, which will open this screen. And then from here, you click on the settings. This is your analytics identifier, which you can configure. I already configured. So, but if it is not configured, you have to, this create button will be active, and then you'll be able to create that. So this is the first and foremost step required. Then I'll just try to this go to meetings toolbar to the other screen. Okay, so now once you have your identifier configured for your website, you can start editing page. So what we will do is we will create a new page. So Bangalore, right? Now on this page, I'd like to add a column splitter. Basically, there is a fight between marketing. The one marketing person is saying that, hey, if you have promo on the left, it gets more traction from the end users. The other marketing person is saying, no, if you have promo on the right, it gets more traction. So what we are doing is to resolve their conflict. We are going to create multiple variants, and then we are going to launch a personalization where we will be launching both those variants, and we'll see which of this variant is getting a lot of traffic. So I will drop a promo component here. And let's say I will create a promo. SUG Bangalore left. I'll assign that. This is SUG Bangalore left promo. We'll also assign an image so we can visually look into it. Now this is my first variant. Now to enable personalization, right? This is your XM Cloud pages in case you're not seeing that. You see some small icons. So personalize is what we are going to use, which is for embedded personalization, right? You can see this is a default variant. Basically, if no personalization, this is your default. Now I'd like to create a personalization. So I'll create in this, click on this create variant. SUG Bangalore, right? Now, once this load, you can look at the all conditions. These are all out of the box conditions available. So let's say if user is from particular country, region, you'd like to show a different variant of the page, you can do that. Based on the date and time, let's say if you are launching a campaign and someone is coming after that particular date and time and you say, sorry, the form is, promotion is ended now, you can do that. Time of day, point of sale, country, region, all those things are available. So we'll not go through on in the details. You can also select by your category. Let's say if you need device base, you can use the operating system. If someone is coming from Windows, show them that, hey, the CrowdStrike attack happened. If someone is coming from Mac, don't show anything to them. So you can do that, something like that. Now, I'm interested in UTM value. So I'm going to add that with this plus sign. The visit includes UTM source. I'm going to use source here. Is equal to, I can also have conditions, right? So I'm going to have is equal to, and the value can be, let's say, SUG Bangalore is my value. I'll save this. The audience has been saved. You can also look at the preview, which shows your condition only, and then I'll close this. So now you can see the new variant has been created, and then what we are going to do is for this one, right? We'll hide this, right? And then, oh, I think okay, for some reason it's not letting me change this. What I'll do is I'll just change the color of this one. So I'll just copy this particular data source, right? And I change it. I'll say just, it's not right, but right promo. And I'll just change the color so you can see the visual difference. Okay, so now I have default one, which is a different color, and this is a different color. Okay, perfect. And you might have noticed the small icon which shows this particular component is personalized, so the authors can easily identify what's going on. So now my campaign is ready. So from here I can publish. I'll just start publishing now. I hosted my instance on Vercel and Netlify both. So I'll be only using Vercel for this demo, but just wanted to, the context of sharing that information is uh, it can be any host, either Vercel, Netlify, or you can also host in your own Node.js instance or Amplify of AWS. The result will be same because it works on the Next.js middleware plugin. And then once you publish, right, you have to make sure that you give some time because, as you know, Next.js has a pre-rendering mechanism and it creates the version, the cached version, and then it refreshes after 90 seconds or so. So you can see SUG Bangalore page is here. So you can see this is a default where I don't have any parameter passed. But now I will pass UTM source is equal to SUG Bangalore, right? And press enter. If everything is fine, it should change the color and then it should change the text as well, right? So that's how this personalization works behind the scenes. And then you don't need to do a lot of complicated things, and it provides a lot of conditions. Now, from the deployment point of view, right, you need to remember a few things which are important. Just trying to move this. Go to meeting. So when you configure your instance, you need to make sure that you configure your context ID and everything here. If you are on JSS version 21.6.0, then you just have to consider the configure edge context ID. But if you are on older version, then you need to configure multiple IDs or multiple environment variables. Then only these things will work. How can you find those? Let's look into it. So you go to your XM Cloud Deploy app. Then from there, let's say you'll have all the projects listed. So click on that. Click on the environment. Click on the environment details, right? And then from here, you will go to developer settings. And then you select your XM JSS version, right? So if you are 21.6 plus, you'll only need to configure these things. But if you are earlier 21.5, then you need to configure this all next public target and all this, like the personalization words are this one. These three you must need to configure, and obviously the website name is also required. So keep that in mind in case you are on the older version and cannot upgrade for some reason. You need to configure this additional environment variable, then only these things will work, else it won't work. And then if you are on the current version, then your life is simple. Okay, so that's about personalization. Any questions before we move to the next demo of analyze and forms? Okay.
I guess
So now to go. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I guess we're good for now. Please go on.
Awesome, perfect. Now for moving to the next one, which is analytics. So you go to your XM Cloud launcher and then click on the analytics. When you click on that, it will direct you to the analytics app. And from here, you can see your Site analytics, I just refreshed. So it shows all the data, but I'm just interested in my website. So I can look into that. You can also look into the 1 month data, as it only retains 1 month data here. You can see the visitors time of the day. You can see which browser they are using, from where they are coming, and then from which source traffic is coming. This is site level information, and you can also filter by your site. If you want to see your forms analytics data, you will have a form you select, the site you select, and then you can select the duration, and you can see the data. You can also download the data from here. I'll show you a demo form. I think I had this form configured yesterday for demo. So this is the form which I configured for my prep, and you can see the submission rate, submissions abundant, how many forms abundant happened, interaction, how many people interacted with the form. All those data are available. Views, basically people are viewing the form, submitting the form, interacting with form. You can see that data from here, and you can also download the data. So from here, you can look at site level, you can look at forms level. But now, if you want page level, right, you go back to your pages and go back and click on the analyze icon. It will also load the same thing, which is site insights, which is similar data what we are seeing at the site level. So here you can see the visitors, average time, how much they are spending. This is only for your website, uh, and all the data is available here. If you want to go further, right, and then divide or look into the page insights, you can select your page, and then, as I mentioned, you can look at it from the variant level. So you can look at like how many users visited this from which browser and which time of the day for this variant, and then for the other variant, you can also. And as data refreshes every minute, you can see like we visited this page, and you can see this data here. So that's how the site insights and page insights. And as I mentioned, you just need to configure the site identifier. Everything else is taken care for you, so no need to worry about things. So that's about analytics. Now going to the last part of demo, which is forms. So you go back to your launcher, and from here click on the tools, and you can go to the forms app. I already have forms created and it's active, and I can look into that, but I'll not do that. I'll just create a new form. So let's say SUG Bangalore demo V2. When you create a new form, it will give you this plain canvas. Here you can drag and drop and design your form. Drag and drop the components which you need, the input types you need. If you want to set up the border color and all those things, you can do it from here, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to load the template. You can also create your own template, and you can leverage that. So I'm going to use this get free email updates template. And I'll say yes, I'd like to use this template to design my form. So my form is ready, and I can customize the form and a lot of things here. Like I can make it required and all those things. I'll not do that. I'll just keep it simple. You can also add multiple pages to the form. You can look at the form from a different breakpoint as well. You can add some comments for marketing person, right? So you can preview the form in different breakpoint. You can look into the versions when multiple people are configuring. You can also configure a logic. So let's say when the field on when email is provided, email contains this, then you would like to hide something, show something, or make something required, you can do all those things uh, with this nice wizard. And then you can configure the settings for the form, right? Um, this is an ID, like which is unique ID assigned. And then if you want to modify the name, as I mentioned, you can configure the form to send the data to a webhook, which is your, uh, which is basically an endpoint. For the demo purpose, what I have done is I have used this site known as webhook.site, which provides you a webhook URL. So this is my URL, which I have already configured. And then when as soon as the data is received, it will show the data here. So we can look at the data. So what I'm going to do here is I just configured this. And then this form you would like to configure for one site, all the sites. So you can configure, and this shows all the sites by tenant. So you can share the form across all the sites under one tenant. And then what you want to do on submit, like you want to show a success message, redirect to a URL, right? So you can do that. Let's say this is success message already available. You can do formatting for it. The failure is this one. Okay. And then we can save and exit. There are some conditions I was trying. I'm not using it, so I don't need it. Okay, so my form is being saved. It is not yet active. So I'll let it save and then I'll activate the, and I'll also show you the webhook, how webhooks can be configured, right? So before we activate the form, you can see this is inactive. I'll show you the webhook. So you can create a webhook. You can provide the authentication. Let's say if you have no authentication, just provide the name and URL. But if you have authentication, you can need to provide all these secrets. I already configured which is in use. Right, I can show you that this has the URL which I showed you for that. And then you can also provide some styling, which I'll not go in detail. So now go back to this form. From here, you can look at your form settings easily, or you can, if you are happy with everything, right, then you can activate the form. So now my form is active. Now I'd like to use this form on my page, right? So I'll go back to editor and then I'll create a new page. SUG Bangalore forms. And here you can see that the forms is already listed here, and I can see my demo V2 form here. You can also do the same thing from here as well, but I'll do this demo V2. Now your form is going to be loaded here. You can look at it from different breakpoints, and if you're happy with everything, then you just publish your form. Once the publishing is done, we will submit the data to a form. And then if everything is working fine, we should see the forms posted data here. We have to wait for next says cache to be invalidated. And then once that is done, you will see a new menu option here. When everyone is looking at screen, it shows it takes more time. But any questions while we are waiting for this page to load?
Feel free to unmute yourself if anyone has any questions.
Okay. Yeah, just not sure the deleting happened. I'll just delete this old forms demo. And I'll publish the parent with sub pages so it shows. Looks like there are no questions, so that's a good thing. Okay. I published the home page by doing some cleanup, so at least it has enough real estate to show those links in case those links are not visible here. Okay, so we'll wait for some time to show that data. And again, while we are waiting for it, you can create your own style. By the field, style builder, you can change the colors, font size, and everything by the form. So it's very intuitive. I think you can change by field, by checkbox, by radius. So it is applied. So basically, you are building your based on your brand theming guideline. You will be modifying it, and then you'll be using that. And again, if you want to go more advanced, you can edit the CSS. Uh, I think mostly your front end friends would like to take more control of this thing, so they have these things available. But at the same time, if marketers would like to have some control, which I would like to give them, they can use this. So yeah, it's very nice feature. And then once the form is active, right, you cannot modify the form. That's the limitation. You cannot edit the form. You can only look at the settings. And if you are to do that, you just need to duplicate the form, and then you need to change your form. So that's a limitation which I'm aware about. And I think the whole XM Cloud team is also aware about. And then you can archive the form. So okay, for some reason it's not loading the new page, so I'll just show you the demo which I configured yesterday. So this is a forms demo. So let's say I have SUG Bangalore at demo.com 20155512333. So this will be posting the data to our webhook. So you can see that new data has been received, and this is my data which I just submitted. Think of this in the real world. As I mentioned, if you have Sitecore Connect license, your Sitecore Connect instance will get this data and start processing. Or if you don't have the license, let's say you would like to do something, you might just create an Azure function which gets activated based on the URL. And then as soon as the URL is received, you can do a lot of these things and process the data. Either saving the database, send an email, all those things can be done. So that's how this whole XM Cloud Forms works.